What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another New Comic Book Day Top 10 list. Today I'm going to be ranking and reviewing all the books I picked up for December 7th, 2022's New Comic Book Day. This was a massive week for New Comic Book Day. There were a ton of brand new series that came out, a lot of new events were starting. I picked up a total of 12 issues, but originally I think I had like 15 or 16 books that I was going to be grabbing, but I mainly stuck to what was just on my pull list. I had to be pretty picky with what I was going to grab. I didn't want to overspend on this week's New Comic Book Day, but there were a ton of awesome issues. I'm so excited to talk about them with you guys. But like I said, 12 total issues, so you know what that means. 2 of them did not make this week's top 10 list. And as always, as I begin to start talking about these books, just be aware that there's definitely going to be spoilers. But to give you a heads up, I put a spoiler tag down below in the corner to let you know that the spoiler is about to happen. And now, without further ado, let's jump into this top 10 list. Alright everyone, so these first 2 issues that I'm going to be talking about today did not make this week's top 10 list. They're in no particular order. I'm not going to be getting too in-depth with them, just a brief overview and just my thoughts and opinions on them. But the first one we've got today is Marvel's brand new event. We've got Dark Web, issue number 1. This is cover A. I honestly thought I was going to be skipping over this event, but after I looked into it a little bit more, it's tied in with pretty much all of my current Marvel ongoing series. So I thought to myself, why not grab it and at least be knowledgeable on the event itself? This first issue, I really didn't like it at all. I just don't think it's going to be for me. Before I get into it though, I did really like the artwork. I thought it was extremely well done. But if you didn't already know, it's about Madeline Pryor and Ben Reilly, and they're both clones. They're tired of being treated as second-class citizens. They've been pushed aside all of these years, and it is finally time for them to get their revenge on everybody that's treated them badly. Eddie Brock gets involved too. We don't really know what he's up to just yet, but if you're reading the Venom series, you know he's trying to get his son Dylan back. I mean, it really wasn't a horrible first issue. Like I said, I just don't think it's going to be for me, but I'm definitely not going to be continuing on with it. The only other one that did not make this week's top 10 list, I actually did really like the issue. That top 10 list is just that good though. But we've got Marvel's other brand new one. We've got Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, issue number 1. This is cover A. Lunella is back in her brand new ongoing series. Like I said, I enjoyed this issue. I knew what I was getting into it though. It kind of read a little bit more like it's directed towards kids, but hey, she is a super genius kid, so it is what it is. We get to see Devil Dinosaur, and this whole first issue is just them catching us up on what Lunella has been up to. So overall, not a bad issue. You should read it for yourself if you haven't read pretty much anything with Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. They go in depth with a lot of stuff. They give us just, a breakdown of who she is as a character and what she's been up to. So solid first issue, just those other top 10 books were just that good. And now let's jump into the real top 10 list. And here we go, everyone, kicking this top 10 list off first. We've got coming in at number 10. This is Marvel's Thor, issue number 29. This is cover A, and for those of you reading this series, this is the start of a brand new arc, and if you were interested in jumping onto this series, honestly, I'd say it's a pretty good spot to do it. The only thing that I would suggest, though, is that you start reading from the first arc of this newest series. That's where you get introduced to the Black Winter. Thor gets to see all the stuff that's going to happen in the future, and that's all you really need to know to get started on this newest arc. So take that for what it is. Comment down below if you feel the same way. But as far as this first issue goes, I thought they did a great job with it. I really enjoyed the artwork. I really liked the storytelling. I think it was just a great setup to what's about to happen. So a little bit about it without too many spoilers. We get to see Corvus Clave, and he kidnaps Thor's baby sister. From there, the rest of the issue just turns into a rescue mission. They have to go to a forbidden area of Niflheim. Some other characters get involved as well. And like I said, overall, this is a great first issue in my opinion. This is coming from someone who really doesn't like this Thor series at all. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 10 this week. This is Marvel's Thor, issue number 29. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 9. This is Marvel's Daredevil, issue number 6. This is cover A. So you're going to hear me say this a lot today about the Marvel books that I grabbed this week for New Comic Book Day. They're definitely on the slower side. They're very plot-driven issues, and they're just doing a great job building up the story. Not a lot of actions happening, but that doesn't mean they're bad issues by any means, and that's exactly where we're at in this Daredevil series right now. So if you can recall from the last issue, there was a ton of action. Daredevil and Elektra, they were on that prison island out in the middle of the ocean, and they were just breaking out all of the inmates. This issue is getting those inmates acquainted to where they're at right now. They're trying to learn a little bit more about them, the things that they've done, and just pretty much how to move forward, and just in the meantime trying to recruit them for their team as well. So not a bad issue, definitely on the slower side, but still a very solid series. I highly recommend picking it up. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 9 this week. This is Marvel's Daredevil, issue number 6. And now we've got coming in at number 8 this week, folks. This is Marvel's Predator, issue number 5. This is cover A. Now, I know I'm biased with series like this, but I think they're honestly doing a phenomenal job with this one so far. If I had to pick between the Predator series or the Alien one, I would definitely be taking this one. They're doing a great job with the storytelling. The artwork is fantastic, but I think the one thing about this series that I just absolutely love not as much in this 5th issue, but a lot of the ones prior to it, is the tension and the suspense that they've been building just page after page. You don't know what's going to happen next. Do you think the Predator is going to pop out? Has the Predator been there the entire time just following Theta while she's hunting that Predator? I love what they're doing with it. This issue, like I said, with a lot of the other Marvel ones, definitely a little bit on the slower side. The last issue, Theta got captured, and now this issue, she's on the Astar ship, and that's pretty much what the entire thing is. She got captured by them, she has to be taken back to Earth, and they're just trying to figure out who she is. But we get left on a crazy cliffhanger. The Predator's found her. I'm excited to see where they go with it. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 8 this week, we've got Marvel's Predator issue number 5. And next up this week, we've got coming in at number 7. This is Marvel's brand new one. Thanos Death Notes, issue number 1. This is cover A. Real quick before I get started on this issue, definitely read this one before you start reading Thor issue number 29. At the beginning of Thor, it makes a reference to this issue, so just giving you a heads up on that one. As far as this first issue goes, I thought they did a fantastic job with it. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting. It's actually kind of split up into 3 or 4 different kind of short stories, but they're just Thanos' notes over the years. Thor's reading them. I enjoyed those notes. I thought it was going to be more of a focus on just, I guess, Thor, but I wasn't exactly sure what I was getting myself into. But overall, I really enjoyed the artwork. The stories were great. I'm so excited to see where they go with this whole event. I'm not a big fan of that Thor ongoing series, but I love that first arc so much. I've been waiting to see what they do with Thanos, that entire vision this whole time. So to see it all finally coming together, I am so excited. I want to hear your opinions on it down below. I don't want to spoil the stories for you guys, but for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 7 this week, we've got Marvel's new one, Thanos Death Notes issue number 1. Now we've got coming in at number 6 this week. This is Image's Undiscovered Country, issue number 22. This is cover A. I absolutely love this series. I always recommend it to everybody. If they're interested in starting something new, they want something indie that's different, I tell them always, Undiscovered Country is a top-notch, top-tier series from Image right now. I feel like it's only getting better and better as the arcs progress as well. I love the characters, and I love the plot development too. Now, I will admit, some arcs were a little bit more on the boring side. Some were slower than others. Some I liked a lot more than other ones. But overall, they were still so important to just the grand scheme story that they're trying to tell. So with this issue, I don't want to spoil a lot of stuff because this one's very important to this arc. We learn a lot. The last few issues were kind of up in the air. Everything was still a mystery. Why was everyone spread across different timelines in history? Why could some characters kind of kill themselves and then they just respawned in a new battle in the past? I thought that was really cool. We learned why some of the characters in the future, they're in head government positions. Overall, a very important and still fantastic issue. I love Undiscovered Country. I can't say it enough. And for those reasons, we've got it coming in at number 6 this week. And now, folks, we are down to the top 5 issues of the week. So coming in at number 5 this week, this is Marvel's Punisher, issue number 8. This is cover A. This is another series from Marvel that I highly recommend. And I'll tell you what, these days, I don't really recommend a lot of stuff from Marvel. I think in this series, the artwork's pretty solid, but they are doing a phenomenal job building up this story. In the beginning, I think we had a lot more action, but they started implementing these flashbacks into every one of these issues. And while I have talked to a lot of people who aren't a big fan of the flashbacks, I think that's something that I truly enjoy about this series. To me, it really ties everything together, like this one in particular. The focus is on his wife, and the whole flashback is pretty much his wife and how she's had to deal with just Frank Castle over the years, how he's treated her, how he's gave her the cold shoulder, and just pretty much what happened since he's come back from the war. Other than that, the present day stuff, it's still Frank gathering his army, and Ares is finally making his way towards him. Next issue is going to be nuts, but seriously, I think this is a great story right now. My opinion, definitely check it out, but for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 5 this week, we've got Marvel's Punisher, issue number 8. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 4. This is Image's Little Monsters, issue number 8. This is the Spawn variant. You know, I usually grab cover A, and I'm not even reading Spawn, but I think they did a fantastic job with this cover. A lot of the Spawn variants that came out this week were all extremely well done. Now, in my opinion, with this series, I think a lot of people are really sleeping on it. Now, if you're not a black and white fan, you're probably not going to like this one, especially if you're not a Jeff Lemire fan, then you definitely won't. I understand with his stories, you know, you got to let them build up in time. You got to wait for that big payoff, but he's doing a phenomenal job on this one, and I love the artwork as well. This one, a lot of stuff is going on. It picks up where the last one left off. All the vampires that are protecting that human girl, they're still trying to just get their thoughts together that the elders basically abandoned them and they are not coming back. They are now alone, but at the same time, they're dealing with that. They're protecting this girl, and all the other vampires that finally feasted on human flesh and human blood, they are after this girl. They're going crazy, but we also get to see just an origin story of another character as well. Overall, a phenomenal story. I want to hear your opinions on this one down below. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 4 this week, we've got Image's Little Monsters, issue number 8. Next up at number 3, we've got Image's brand new one, Radiant Pink, issue number 1. This is cover A. I'll tell you what, folks, if you are reading Radiant Black and you're not reading any of these tie-in series, you are doing yourself a disservice. I think these tie-in series are honestly almost better than the main ongoing of Radiant Black. Now, it's not to say it isn't good by any means, but there were a couple points where I was debating on dropping it and just reading it in a trade paperback or a hardcover format. But these tie-in series, we got the Radiant Red character, we got a little one-shot for the Radiant Yellow, and now we've got a brand new mini-series for the Radiant Pink character. Definitely check out the Radiant Red and the Radiant Yellow if you haven't already done so, but with this one, we get introduced to our Radiant Pink. She's a gamer, she's a streamer, and all she wants to do is help people. I'm not going to be getting too in-depth with it because it basically is not like an origin story, but we get to see just a day in the life of her. Everything that she does, what she wants to do, and we just get to learn about her. If you read Radiant Red and Radiant Yellow, it was a little bit more along Radiant Red side of things, but still overall a fantastic story. Definitely check it out if you're a Radiant Black fan, and for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 3 this week, we've got Image's brand new one, Radiant Pink, issue number 1. And next up this week, we've got coming in at number 2. This is Image's brand new one. We've got Noctera, Val Special, issue number 1. This is cover A. I absolutely love Noctera. It is definitely one of, if not my favorite ongoing series from Image. I always recommend it to everybody. Do yourself a favor and try to find some of those back issues or a trade paperback for it. It has been so good and it just consistently gets better. There was a Blacktop Bill special as well, a little tie-in issue. I thought that was fantastic. And now we've got the Val Special. It's got 2 different plots going on in it. I'm not even going to mention the other plot. It's in the present day, and if you're a Noctera fan, it is definitely worth it. It is so good. Now, as far as the other one goes, that one I will talk about a little bit. It takes place in the past. We get introduced to the character Royce and just the ferrymen. So basically, it's just Royce's origin story. We get to see the trucking business that he develops. It's what Val works for in kind of the present issues, and just everything that sparked that, a little bit about him. Overall, just a fantastic read. If you're a Noctera fan, this is an absolute no-brainer to pick up. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 2 this week, we've got Image's new one, Noctera, Val Special, issue number 1. And this is it, everyone, my number 1 read of the week. We've got coming in at number 1 this week. This is Marvel's brand new ongoing series. We've got Miles Morales Spider-Man, issue number 1. This is cover A. I was so excited for this book to come out, and it did not let me down at all. I absolutely loved it. I think they truly did a phenomenal job with it. Even for a first issue, I really didn't expect too much from it. It kind of did remind me of the Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur issue, where we're getting acquainted to him, what he's been up to since the last series has ended, just stuff like that. But we did get introduced kind of to a new character. We got a ton of action, but on top of that, the artwork was phenomenal. The artwork was absolutely top-notch. The action that just paneled across both pages was so incredibly well done. But on top of that, I don't know if this is just me, and it does say a lot coming from me because I've ragged on Marvel Comics' quality, just the paper quality, over the last couple of months a lot. I feel like this is a very high quality book. Those first couple of pages, I feel like they were more on the cardstock side of things, but still, that aside, fantastic first issue, tons of action, new characters. We get to see Genki as well. Just a great read if you're a Miles Morales fan. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 1 this week, we've got Miles Morales Spider-Man, issue number 1. And that's a wrap on this week's top 10 list of books, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to comment down below what your top read of the week was and which books you think I missed out on. And thanks for watching, everyone. If you did enjoy, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below with notifications turned on. You won't regret it. Now, I've got 2 more sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.